Welcome back to GBGuns. We are back from the range with the TLR9C, having done full mag +1 and the what's for dinner test, which I'm sure more than a few of you are curious how this gun's going to run. We did the test a little bit differently this time, added an extra element to it. Just curious to see what kind of wear there is in this. Again, there looks pretty good. As I mentioned, there is that auxiliary feed ramp, if you will, to help with some of the trickier rounds. And of course, we also did our accuracy testing. I did not add any lubrication to this gun, just took it right out of the box, assuming worst case scenario for the consumer. You'll see how it runs and hear my notes on it afterwards. Out with the Taurus TH9C, we'll of course start things off with our full mag +1. Gonna use the little mag for the +1. I'm gonna decock the gun, drop that, put the extended 17 round mag in. So we now have 18 rounds of capacity, which is pretty good. And we'll see how the gun cycles this 115 grain. No problems. What's for dinner? Thank you to Patreon supporters for making this possible. Also our ammo sponsors. Our heaviest in the line is 158. Got a 147. You guys can pause and read if you want, but the point is we're going to run 3 rounds of each load. Steel case, aluminum case, round nose, flat point, hollow points. The idea is to see through all these different bullet designs and weights what will cycle and what won't.
Alrighty. So we are going to do things a little bit differently today. We thought it would be fun and informative to actually show the point of impact where the bullet is going to be hitting. So each one of the rounds is going to be, well, each one of the bullet types is going to be hitting a different number on the target. Starting off, our what's for dinner is going to be the PPU subsonic line ammunition of 158 grain. So let's get started.
Shooting at number 1.
Well, attempting to.
Gun ran.
Shooting around number 1. Moving on to Browning, 147 grain.
Is there a snub nose round in a zinc plated case?
American Eagle, suppressor 124 subsonic. Wolf lacquered steel performance ammo. Looks like we are at 115 grain. Blazer 115 aluminum. Spear, gold dot, 115 grain.
Hollow points.
Hollow point. Hollow point.
Was it hitting that low?
Apparently. I could lie and say I was going for number 7, but I sure as shit wasn't.
That, folks, is a great example of why we wanted to do this, because different rounds have different points of impact. And in this gun, that ammo, it's low. All right, it's my turn. Starting off with, for me anyways, 115 grain Remington HTP, high terminal performance. This is a hollow point, and assuming it's not going to hit low like the other one, I'm actually going to go for target number 6. See what happens. So that pause there, you might have heard it. We had a soft strike, and part of why I like hammer fired guns like this that have single action, double action, is I pulled the trigger, the round didn't go off. But thanks to the double action, I was able to pull again and get that second strike, and the round went off the second time. With a striker fired gun, that would have been a malfunction. You'd have to rack, and you're down 1 round. Now we're heading into light for caliber territory with the Winchester Super Clean. How clean? Super clean. This is a zinc core full metal jacket. It's a snubby round and very lightweight, and I'll be going for target number 8. Once again, we had a round not go off, but the second strike got it. Now we've got the Heavy Duty. This is by Heavy Shot, made here in Oregon. This is a snub-nosed, frangible, non-toxic round that's loaded by Freedom Munitions. Be going for target number 9. Got another frangible load. This is Centerfire from Fiocchi, also 100 grain. It has a bit of a divot on the nose with a flat point. Target number 10. Now the lightest load we have from Inceptor, the RNP, this is 65 grain, moving pretty fast, and I'll aim for the black square on the right with this one. There's a point of impact shift for you, notably low and left. All right, now for 5 shots from 7 yards using Nosler 124 grain match. This is to see how well the gun groups. A lot of you reported having accuracy issues with this gun, at least those who commented on the tabletop. I'm curious to see, and also to be fair, and since I've been criticized for it before, first shot's going to be on double action. Aiming for the top 10 ring. And once again, it didn't detonate the last round out of the magazine.
So Graham already said it, and I'll say it as well. The sights are not ideal, but to be fair, once you kind of get used to them, I just had the best accuracy I've had all day and probably all month using this gun with these sights. And he said it better than I ever could. This is actually a really good gun for the price for just being an everyman's gun. It fits perfectly in my hand. So this is actually something that I would recommend as a good concealed carry gun. It's compact, it's a good size, it has a good weight to it. Obviously has some good accuracy, at least for me. It's very manageable, very inexpensive. Good gun.
The TH9C, I was curious, since it's essentially a rebranded 809C. We did a review on that 3 years ago, I think. I like hammer fireds, and with this one, it needed to be hammer fired. A couple times there, the last round out of the magazine did not detonate on the single action, but it did detonate on the double action. So, thanks to the fact the hammer was there, we're able to keep shooting. In a life-saving situation, that's just mashing the trigger once more. There's pros and cons to that. That's the topic of a whole nother video. The rest of the gun, however, I like. It has the features that I would look for in a gun. Very affordable at under $300. The controls are there. The trigger's actually not that bad, as you saw in the Full Mag Plus 1. You can run this thing fast. If I had to change something though, it would definitely be the sights. The sights are a little odd, as I pointed out in the tabletop video. The dots actually don't line up. So if you line up the dots, you end up with your front sight high. If you line up the top edges of the sights, which is what I do, you end up with your front sight dot setting sun sort of in the rear. The finish is wearing off. I don't know what kind of longevity you'll have out of this gun. It might be something worth getting Cerakoted if you have an affordable place to do that. But as a out of the box everyman pistol, I really can't complain about it.
So, what'd you think? I was surprised and impressed, I gotta say, that it made it through the What's for Dinner like it did. And then Maddie had one of the best groupings she's ever shot with this gun. Ironically, now granted that was using the Nosler match ammunition, but it functioned. Did pretty darn good. We do have, notice a little bit of chowdering on the barrel hood. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. You can see there's some really fine kind of tick marks here of friction points. But as I said, this gun was not lubricated before taking it out. In fact, I left that factory grease inside there. And it ran. What I did find peculiar was 3 or 4 times we had a failure to detonate on the last round out of a magazine in single action. So, round didn't go off on the single action, pulled for the double, and it fired. Now it's the same ammo that we've been using in a lot of our tests, and we've never had that before, which leads me to believe that this is gun related and not ammo related. So I wonder if that single action hammer impact is not quite hard enough, or if maybe there is a little bit of obstruction in the channel for the firing pin, and that could have been that shipping grease that was in there. Usually that kind of stuff works its way out. I don't typically prepare guns before taking them out for our range tests. I just take them out and shoot them as they come out of the box. Give that, as I said, worst case scenario for a consumer. Once again, the grip is very comfortable. My pinky doesn't quite want to stay on this pinky rest. It's a little too short for me with a 13 rounder in there, which is funny because I've got guns that hold 10 rounds that I can fit my whole grip on. So this stacking is probably closer to the SIG 365 in able to fit more rounds. It's a wider stack perhaps. But with both hands on the gun, pinky slipping off was not an issue. So far, I really can't say anything negative about this gun other than not a huge fan of the sights, but as Maddie pointed out, you do get used to them. And looks like Taurus has a winner with the TH9C. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.